Welcome back, tributes, to episode 61 of Into the Arena. I'm Holly.
I'm Emily.
And we also have
Ronnie. Hey, it's me.
and
AJ.
yay! We have our friends here. You're a part of the introductions this week. We have a very exciting episode. I was just thinking back to our last episode was our trailer expectations and what we thought was going to make it to the trailer. And here we are, our next episode. The trailer is out. Everyone's seen the trailer. Go see the trailer if you have not. And we had the best experience possible seeing the trailer. Like, we're going to preface this by saying, like, we were not expecting this. We were so grateful. This is genuinely like us as fans getting to experience a once in a lifetime thing that was meant the world. So thank you, Lionsgate. Thank you so much for putting this together. But we just got back from Vegas a couple days ago, and we're going to talk about it.
We
Yeah.
sure are. Lots to talk about.
I'm so tired. Everyone like physically tired, just like mentally, like just so much
I feel that.
happened.
I was gonna say, I feel like we should almost give a disclaimer to you all that if we're a little downbeat, it's not because we're like bored or anything. It's just been a very intense whirlwind. What is it, like 72 hours?
Yes.
And we all came back yesterday at various times. Was it yesterday? I literally
It
don't
was
even remember.
yesterday. It was technically
God, okay.
yesterday. 2:30 in the morning for me, 2 o'clock
Oh
in the morning
gosh.
for you.
Yeah, that's right. Okay.
Oh.
Okay, yeah,
See,
Thursday
I'm-
night for me.
Yeah, Thursday night.
I was
Okay,
jealous. Jealous of you, like
Thursday.
middle of the country people.
April 27th is when we all came back, but as you can see by that, I don't know what time or day it is anymore.
Yeah, we're all just riding that high from these past few days. I guess we should start off with how this happened. So, like a few weeks ago, each of us were contacted separately from Lionsgate and a company that they're working with to put together events for the Hunger Games. And they essentially said, like, we're so excited that you've been keeping the fandom alive. We want to give back to creators who are keeping the fandom alive. And they essentially said, are you free April 25th through 27th? And those of us who could make it said yes. Those of us who couldn't said no, maybe next time. But they said, we're sending you to Las Vegas. We're not telling you anything about anything.
Nothing.
Just hopefully we don't die. We all
Yeah, we were like, hopefully they're not sending us
Saying
to
it's
the
to
Hunger Games.
Yeah,
like Mission Stadium over there, there's T-Mobile Arena over there.
Mhm.
Like, what are we doing?
and it ended up being awesome. So yeah, we were some of the accounts. So Into the Arena was invited, Jabberjays, AJ was invited. Your account is the Hunger Games collector, just Hunger Games accounts. And we had, I think there was 15 people. And yeah, I mean, you've probably seen the accounts who have gone.
We had people from Australia, Germany, and France too. This was not a US only. Really cool. I know a lot of us were very excited that some of our international friends and fans were able to
Yes.
participate as well.
Kaylee, Clement, and Lily, we stan you. We love you.
Love you
Amazing
so
people.
much.
Absolutely
Shout out
amazing people.
For having the worst luck with flights and having 6 flights
Oh,
or 4 days or whatever it was. I'm gonna give you a medal. I said I was gonna do it. Eventually it'll happen.
We can talk about Tuesday. So we all flew in and we pretty much all waited for each other at the airport,
Yeah.
which was really fun because
was
we
really
were all
fun.
in this big group, and it was just like seeing everyone who online and just like they're icons most of the time, but like seeing
Mhm.
everybody stand there and like everybody hugging everyone, that was a really surreal and cool thing to see.
Some of us had met in person before, like Emily, this was my 4th time seeing you. And then some of us hadn't seen each other at all in person or at all, period. So that was really cool. I know Holly's first impression of me was that I'm not as tall as she thought I was going to
It's always the height.
I hugged
It is
AJ
always
and I
the
was like,
height.
"You're not as tall as I was expecting you to be."
Everyone always thinks I'm short. I don't understand that, but
I'm gonna be honest, Emily. I did think that you were going to be short, but you weren't.
what?
I don't know why I had that expectation. I mean, what did y'all think I was gonna be? I mean, I don't think I'm very
You were the
tall,
height I
particular.
expected.
Yeah,
Okay,
you were the
good,
height I
good,
expected
perfect. That's what I wanted. That's what I needed.
I know, like Lily, who's coming from Germany, we essentially just annihilated each other upon arrival.
Yes.
Shout out Nicole for getting the footage of my hugs with Holly and Lily.
And it was really cool. Shout out to you two, because Ronnie and AJ had been waiting at the airport, I think, for everyone else. And then we went to Caesar's Palace, which is where we got to stay, which was surreal.
Amazing.
It was also
amazing.
during CinemaCon, so that was a cool place to be. It was like movie posters everywhere. That was fun.
Lanyards swinging around
Yeah.
everywhere.
Yeah, everywhere.
Yes.
Every elevator that you got into, there was at least like one or two business pros in their suits wearing a lanyard.
Yeah, and the elevators were even decorated. Like there was a Barbie elevator,
Yes.
Insidious elevator, Transformers.
Looking around
Yeah.
for Hunger Games stuff, but we never
know.
really saw anything. I guess because Lionsgate's panel, we didn't go to that, but it was on Thursday night. And
Mhm.
I think when the trailer came out, they put out more Hunger Games promo stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They put up posters on the day that we were all leaving. So some of us did see those in person.
And then we got to the hotel, checked in, went to our rooms.
Which
Emily and I
also-
shared a room.
Also, Emily and I took an Uber together or a taxi
Oh, yeah,
together
we
to the
did.
hotel. It was
And we
so
got to know each
exciting.
other so well. We were just like trauma
It was so
dumping.
fun.
When we were checking in, I don't know if I said it for you guys, but when I was checking into my room, the concierge guy was like, "And I see that you're an invited guest by Lionsgate." And I was like, I could get used to that.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, no, they did.
They didn't tell us that.
They said
Yeah,
that. They
they
said that to
did.
me.
Like,
Yeah,
You
they said
did?
that to me.
Oh, I
yeah.
missed it.
They said that to me. They're like, "Oh, you're from Lionsgate or to go visit CinemaCon," and I was like, "I
Yeah.
guess."
So that was really cool. And then we were all in like different areas of the hotel. But I mean, our hotel room had 2 bathrooms, a bidet, a bathtub with a jet.
Beautiful
Oh,
bathtub.
I didn't use the bathtub. I
The
wish.
best.
So
It was
nice.
the best bathtub that I've ever used in my entire life. Like I
Mhm.
can't even stress to y'all. I don't think I've ever been so relaxed in my entire life than I
Yeah,
was,
same.
other than like in the womb, than I was. Like,
That's
in
what I
that
need right now.
bathtub. It was so nice.
Yes.
I didn't have the time or the strength to draw a bath during the time we were there. There was just so much happening.
That was the
but
first thing I did.
That was the first thing you did.
I didn't do it till day 2, which I mean we'll get there, but like after the pool, I was like, you know what? Heck, why not? Let's do it. Let's take a bath. And it was worth the effort. It took a long time to fill up or whatever, but it was still like it was super worth the wait. Thank you, Hunger Games.
Thank you. And then we were invited. We did know this. We did know that we were going to a dinner. It was is it the Flamingo? Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
It was a steakhouse in the Flamingo Hotel across the street. This private room, it was like their speakeasy room. It was really cool. It had this like Art Deco decor vibe to it. So it reminded me of the Capitol train a little bit.
It did.
I love
Same,
that.
yes.
And the coolest part was like we walked in and the first thing we saw in the bar was a menu of like suggested cocktails or like the specials. And at the bottom, Emily has it. At the bottom, there was a Songbirds and Snakes cocktail, which I was like, everyone has to order this.
Yes.
It is a must.
I had
Can you
quite a
read it?
few of those. They
Yeah,
were
read it
delicious.
out.
Oh, what
What
it
was-
was?
what's in it?
Okay. Y'all, I don't know what any of this means. Luxardo cherry infused Bacardi Gold Reserve, lime ginger beer, and gold flakes.
Mhm.
The gold flakes were very pretty.
They were
Yeah.
very pretty.
So if anyone wants to make that at home,
There you go.
Yeah.
I had it. It was good.
It was
please
very good.
responsibly.
It was like a mule is what it tasted like.
Yeah. It also kind of gave me like old fashioned vibes, like an old fashioned. I really liked it. I think it's kind of neat that they like made a drink just for this
That
event.
was so cool. I just
cool.
fangirled so hard.
Mhm.
They were able to make a alcohol-free version for me, so that was cool too.
Oh wait, really?
I was so happy.
That's what I should have had.
which I don't know like what he put instead or anything, but it didn't have alcohol. That's all I care about. So
I
Mhm.
would have loved to have tried the alcohol-free version to like compare the tastes.
So many people got the drink and it was really cool. And then we all sat down together, which I loved. Like we pushed the tables together, which was really
Yes,
fun.
Yeah, really.
it's very Catching Fire-esque where they push the
Yeah.
tables together and like we all
They
kind
were
of
all
talk to each
separate,
other.
and we were like, but we all want to sit together.
Yeah.
So can we move?
Yeah, we're
them?"
like, screw this fancy restaurant. We're just gonna move all your furniture. Like, and we all just got to know each other because I mean, the only person I had ever met in person was Emily. And so I really had no idea who these people were that I was
Even
sitting
though we
with.
rode in a cab together, come on.
I know we
Come on,
bonded, we
Holly.
trauma dumped, we bonded. But I mean, like really getting to know everyone and going around the table and sharing like who we are, where we're from, what accounts we ran. I just thought that was so fun. And I mean, like, shout out to Molly meeting PNM Propaganda.
She's
Like,
Queen,
so
icon,
cool.
legend. We
Oh
when
love
my gosh,
Ronnie,
an
when you brought
OG.
her over, I literally was like, my 12-year-old self is freaking out because I didn't know who she was. You're like, this is Molly from PNM Propaganda because I didn't know what she looked like. And I was like, wait, whoa, stop, hold the phone. Like,
Well, I had known her for years, but like I don't think I'd ever seen her in person before. But like when
Mhm.
she came down from the lobby to meet like the general meeting area before we went to the dinner, she looked at me and she was like, I know you, and like came over to me and I was
She's
like, oh my God, it's
amazing.
Molly.
She's
Like
so
she's
cool.
the OG Hunger Games fandom, I would say. Like, I mean,
Mhm.
she is the gal. She's the gal.
She is the
She's
moment.
mother. She's mother.
So it was just so cool. Just, I don't know. Do you guys have highlights from the dinner or anything that I didn't mention?
The food was good. The food was very, very
I don't
good.
feel like I got to eat enough, but I did have lobster for the first time. So that was cool.
When they offered the lobster roll to me, I was like, well, when in Vegas, let me
Mhm.
try it. And
But
I really actually
they had
liked
people
it.
walking around too, like with trays with
Yeah.
like the lobster rolls and like I don't know what other things, and you just feel like obligated.
Yeah, I was like, you know
Well,
what, let me
Ronnie,
try this.
you mentioned that it felt like we were in Catching Fire, like at the
Yes,
party.
That's what it felt
yeah,
like.
yeah.
Mhm.
It would have been super fun if they had given them A-box masks. I know that would have been a lot, but like I
Kind of cool. I mean, we would have appreciated it. I mean,
But like a little disturbing at the same time.
oh, also it was Lexi's birthday.
Yeah.
So Rue's
And they brought a
legacy.
cake for
Most
her.
insane cake I've ever seen.
That was
Like,
so
Yeah.
cool. The cake was really good too. I
it was
ate a
like
whole slice.
raspberry and chocolate.
Ate it.
Like it's
So
good.
shout out Lexi.
And her
Then
mom.
yes,
And mom.
icon. We loved your mom.
Icon.
Literal
What a way to
mascot
celebrate
of the whole
your
event.
birthday.
I loved her so much. Oh my God. Like both of them were such like a cute like group. Like I
Yes.
love them.
And then afterwards, the Bellagio fountains,
So
which
pretty.
is AJ's hotspot.
So
happy
fun.
place.
Yes. And it was really, really cool to see. I've never been to Vegas. So experiencing that for the first time was really cool. AJ was crying.
Emily and I went to the Bellagio fountains in November and we got emotional there. And then when we were all there as a group this week, they played the same song with the same choreography for the fountains that made Emily and I cry. And so that was like a little bit of like a whoa kind of moment. And then I experience this a lot where I become very suddenly very aware of like where I am in my life, if that makes sense. Like not to be dramatic, but like that's what it is. And it was just like, you know, I love Vegas. That was my 8th time there. But this was probably one of the most meaningful times there, just because, yeah, I was surrounded by my friends and, you know, I talk to you all more than my friends in real life. And that's not to put those friends down, but it's just to say that, you know, you guys are a huge part of my life. And so the, you know, being there at the Bellagio fountains, which yeah, is my happy place. I genuinely love it there so much. And then that so many of you got to experience that for the first time. And then I
Yes.
there to share that moment with you. It was just a very special moment that was definitely like a core memory.
I do have to say that I've seen videos of the Bellagio fountains before. Like I've heard about it, but I didn't think of it as like I was like, oh, there's just some water fountains or whatever.
No.
But no, it is honestly like in person, it's stunning. It's absolutely so impressive that like that can be done.
It's a free attraction in Vegas too, which I think is really cool because, you know, Vegas can be kind of expensive like, as far as entertainment goes. And
Kind of.
Yeah.
well,
I paid $37 for a little focaccia bread and like a coffee.
that's food. that's a separate category.
That's very true.
But as far as entertainment goes, like it's a free thing that you can go and see after 8 p.m. through midnight. It's every 15 minutes. So that's cool because we were also there for like such a short amount of time. Like we wouldn't have had the time to go see a Cirque du Soleil show or go see a concert or something, you know?
Well, that was a super cool start to everything.
That was
Do
a
you
great night. 10 out of 10.
talk about Wednesday?
Wednesday, we all woke up, and what I loved about this was that we did everything together.
For better or
think-
for worse.
Yeah, I think we all think that Lionsgate was kind of expecting us to kind of be like, oh, maybe Emily and I will go to something. Maybe like
Right.
AJ and Ronnie from New York will go to something together, you know, like, but we all
We
got
traveled
breakfast.
in a pack.
Like
Yeah, we
this
did.
huge
It was a
massive
pack.
pack. We all got breakfast together, and then the next plan was come to this hotel room, which finding it was very hard.
Yep.
Yeah, so they said come to this hotel room between this window of time. What do? We all roll up together, like 15 of us.
The
To
career
this small room.
Yes, but I was with AJ. This is gonna be a core memory for me. I was with AJ. We're talking about your nails, and
path.
yeah, we were talking about your nails, and then all of a sudden we look up, and so we're expecting like just go into this bedroom, like pick up a bag, talking about AJ's nails. Look up. Oh my God, there's peacekeepers standing guarding the door. What? Like,
Yes.
huh? And so we all just walk into this small room, and there's peacekeepers. And then inside the room, there's this nice, beautiful table and 2 Academy students next to 2 Ballad posters. And on the table are white roses everywhere, and then lanyards. And so we rush to the lanyards, and the lanyard says,
have
VIP
mine
trailer
right
launch
here.
experience.
Trailer launch experience.
Confirmed.
It was beautiful.
So at that
beautiful,
moment,
beautiful.
We knew what we were doing. We're like, we're gonna see the
We're
trailer
gonna see the
tonight.
trailer.
We also had a special yellow sticker on our lanyards for being
Yeah.
influencers because there were other people coming in later. But
Oh, I
not
didn't know that's why.
Yeah, it was to distinguish us from like other people.
the Academy student, he was like, "Are you an influencer?" And I was like, "Yes."
Yes, I am.
And I definitely want a lot of pictures.
Which was so jarring for me because I've never considered myself an influencer.
No,
in any way, shape, or
absolutely
A
form.
not.
Hunger
I was like,
Games
what?
influencer too.
Yeah, not
Like,
even that. I was like,
what?
what? Okay, I guess I'm one of those now.
When I started my Instagram account in 2020, I would tell everyone, mainly my mom, but like as a joke, like I'm gonna be Pan Am's first influencer. Like that was like,
Yes.
That's cute.
because I have it in my name where I'm like AJ Fran's professional fan, right? And so
Mhm.
yeah, I'm trying to be Pan Am's first influencer. Look at me now.
Yeah, and it was just insane because genuinely, like, I don't know what you all were expecting, but I was just expecting like go into this room and pick up a bag and go.
Oh, same. Yeah,
Literally.
Yeah,
same.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I thought.
I
It
did
had
not
so-
imagine the costumes. The
It
costumes
felt-
were so good.
It felt like Disneyland because it was like they're dressing up like our faves.
Yeah.
And we just get to experience it. And they were like, welcome to the Academy, like talking to us like they are Academy
Character.
students. My favorite moment from that situation, though, was I was trying to take a picture. I think it was you, AJ. I don't know for sure, but the lighting was really bad. And so a peacekeeper came up to me and was like showing me how to adjust the lighting on the
Oh
phone.
my
And I was
God.
like, what world is this that a peacekeeper is helping me take a photo?
And
He's doing
was
his
also-
duty, man.
Yeah.
What was also great about that though is that like we got to see the costumes up close. I mean,
Mhm.
we'll get to that later too because we got to see more of them. But like seeing the details on the peacekeeper outfits, especially, I was like, oh my God! Like I didn't realize that the Pan Am seal was on the jacket that they were wearing. Like the
Or like
old
on the,
school
the
the
jacket.
buttons.
buttons.
Yeah,
of
like I
the
mean,
Academy uniform. Mhm.
it was so beautiful, and that's something that I don't think that you could have really gotten if you were to just watch the movie. Even
I asked them, I was like, so like, what do y'all do with the uniforms when you're
oh,
done?
we'll get there. We'll
I
get
know.
there,
I
but
was like, can I have a uniform or?
I was like, name your price. I will buy it from you. I don't care. We asked about the roses because they had like so many vases throughout the space filled with white roses, and
yeah.
we asked and they told us no. When we were like, okay, that's fine, that's cool, whatever.
We were gifted this bag, which we all returned to our room and
Yeah, we all like
opened.
ran back to our rooms. They
Yes,
didn't
we
want
did.
us to open it there.
Listen, Taylor and I, we like walked so quickly. I don't think that like I've ever walked so quickly to an elevator before in my entire life.
Mhm.
Because we just wanted to get back to our rooms to open up our bags. But we got these, we're all repping today. We got sweatshirts and t-shirts.
Sweatshirts, t-shirts, and a new Ballad copy.
Yes, which thank
Yeah.
goodness, because I have a friend that's borrowing my original copy right now and is
That's
reading
so
it.
risky.
I know. I trust her with my life, though. Like, I think
Okay.
that she's going to get it back to me in pristine condition. At least I hope. But I'm glad that we got it.
Which you can pre-order this stuff right now.
Yeah.
In
Yeah,
the
you
Landscape
can.
shop. So
We'll leave the
we're
link in
really
the
influencing
description.
right now.
Yeah, seriously.
The link
I
in the
the merch.
description down below to the Hunger Games shop.
So we got our goodie bags and then we were sent back to our rooms to pretty much post what we got in our bags, except the lanyard, because we didn't want anyone to know that we were seeing the trailer that night.
Yeah.
So that was a secret to everyone that we were seeing the trailer. So you probably saw us posting that. That's why we posted those. And then pool day.
Yeah, we all
The
changed to get.
pool.
By the way, when we were all like, so we all met up to go do breakfast together as the career pack is what I'm calling us. And then we
Yes.
all went up to the rooms and get our gift bags. But since none of us expected it to be like a whole production, we were dressed in like very casual, like almost like some of us were already ready for the pool, very casual outfits. And so when we got there, I was like, I feel the need to like run back to my room, change and come back.
Yeah.
Excuse you. I was wearing my exhibition shirt. I was wearing my
You were
Converse
ready.
with my Hunger Games shoelaces.
You
I
had it
was good.
going. Yeah,
I guess
Emily
I
had
was
it.
ready.
I'm not taking
Queen.
that away from you, Queen. I'm just saying that I showed up in shorts and like an undershirt and flip-flops, and like if I had known, I would have done something a little bit better, but it's fine.
So big surprise for us. And then pool day, which was super laid back and fun. And we were all kind of wondering like, what's going to happen at the trailer launch? We don't know what we're going to see or where it's going to be or what's going to happen. So that was a fun afternoon. And then we got ready and went to the lobby where they took us in like a party bus shuttle thing,
Yes.
which
That
is
was
so fun.
It was
Which-
very
which-
exciting. It set the
look-
tone, I felt like.
I did hear though that like the reason why they booked us a party bus, I can't confirm or deny this information, but is because they wanted to rent us like a big vehicle, but like the party bus was the only thing that they could rent for us.
Iconic.
It
Honestly,
just so
iconic.
happened to be a party
Fine
bus.
with me.
Yeah.
I know, same. And it was great. Like it was such a big surprise because like when the vehicles pulled up, I was like, oh, we're just gonna get in this van. And then
Yeah.
when we got in, I
Mhm.
was like, oh my gosh, like this is
Yeah.
like a legitimate party bus. It was super fun. It was super, super cool. And they drove us out to MGM.
Pretty sure we were going to the
Yeah.
exhibition.
Oh, no,
That was our idea.
right?
Because it's like, why are we
when
in
I saw it.
Vegas?
I know exactly. I
But
Like,
it
why are they
was-
shuttling us somewhere?
Some people that were with us legitimately had no idea what we were doing. I was talking to someone and they were literally like, yeah, I don't know what we're doing here. And then at that same time, one of the reps that was with us had asked me if I had an idea of where we were going. And I spent a whole weekend at the MGM Grand. I'm very familiar with that hotel. So I was like, it's definitely Top Golf. We're definitely going to go golf.
Yeah. I would have been happy with anything, honestly.
Yeah.
I mean, the person that was one of our representatives, they said, I was like, where are we going? And they were like, oh, it's Hunger Games prom. We're doing Hunger Games prom, like as like a joke. And I was like, low key, I would have loved that. Like
That
I
would've
would
been awesome.
love to go to
Yeah.
Hunger Games
Would have wore an
prom.
Effie dress. Like,
Yes,
Yes.
that was very exciting. And then we get there and immediately like I knew because I knew that the exhibition was at MGM Grand, even though I'd
Mhm.
never been to Vegas before. Like I just knew. And we got separated, unfortunately.
we
Well,
just
it
got
was-
separated.
what
'cause
was
they split
really
us into like
cool-
2 groups.
By the way, like, so the exhibition is located in an area of MGM Grand called the District, which I don't know if
Oh, I
that's
didn't
on
know
purpose.
that.
Oh.
Yeah. So on the signage, like when you're walking, there's the casino area, and then there's of course like where you go for like guest elevators and the restaurants and stuff. But that whole section where there's that food court, all those little shops, at the way end is where Top Golf is, and that whole like section we walked through is called the District. And I don't know if it's always been called that or if
That's
it's on purpose.
awesome.
It was
the
just named
exhibition.
after.
But like I think again a different person I was talking to, maybe it was Lexi, I don't remember, but it might have been the same person who didn't know what we were doing there. And I was like, there's a hint on the signage of the hotel, that's all I'll say. And then it was like the district, like pointing, that area, and they were like, oh.
Ah.
But yeah, I don't know if that's intentional on MGM's part or not, but it just happens to be that way, which either way, I love that. So,
But it was so cool because when we were going down the escalators to the exhibition, there were more Academy students and more peacekeepers. So they're all like waving at us. We're like, oh my God, what's happening?
They waved at you all too. You were in a separate group than I was in.
Yeah.
Yeah, you all should have ran to the front. Like,
Yeah, we
I
were
didn't
like,
even
Emily and I were
listen,
like,
I
we're
didn't
going
even know.
we
first.
ran. We were
I
like,
did
we're gonna
not
be the
even
first
know.
ones.
I did not even know what was happening. I was too overwhelmed. Only one of them waved at me. Honestly, one of the only is an only Academy student that waved, but which I was like, this is a little bit out of character. Like, why are you waving at me right now? But then we get down there, and I did not realize that there's an entire show going on here. Like, they were kind of into character, and I loved it.
Yeah, like it was like Academy students taking us through the exhibition, which
Yeah.
was really, really cool. I haven't been to any of the exhibitions at all. So that was like a first time for me, which was really cool. I feel like I'll never top that.
They
And
don't do
yeah,
that normally. They don't
yeah.
have anybody like really guiding tours normally. It's just kind of self-guided, I think.
We were going in and we were like going through slowly and like seeing the normal stuff. And I was like, when are we getting to the ballad costume?
I know, same.
Like,
Same.
I'm like 99% sure we're gonna have
I
some
didn't
ballad
even-
costumes set up somewhere here. And I
I wasn't expecting
I
it at
wasn't
all.
expecting that. I was not expecting that either. I thought that we were just gonna go through the exhibition and then just like at the end they're just gonna show us the trailer.
Mhm.
I did not expect the costumes, and I didn't understand that that's what was going on. Like when they were like, oh, there's a glimpse into the past or whatever of the Hunger Games, and like just didn't pick up on it.
The thing is, you can watch, Emily and I are going to put out a vlog of the event. So you can watch and see all the content there about what was in the exhibition. But like through our way into like the trivia room, there was
Yeah.
Lucky's
Lucky's
costume,
costume,
and
which
I didn't see it.
I saw it, but I was like, what is this? What is this?
yeah, I would say that would be like really my only criticism of the whole night, to be honest, is just that the placement of that costume is in kind of an awkward spot because the lighting in that room is
lighting.
dark to begin with, and then it flashes a lot. So like you can't see the colors accurately, for one. And then for two, it's because it's kind of in that darker room, like Holly said, like it was very easy to miss it. And I only noticed it because I've been several times and I was like, that's not normally there. What is this? And then there's like a little plaque thing kind of behind it on the bottom, which was also another weird spot to put that, saying that it was Lucky Flickerman's costume. And the way that the exhibition is laid out, you go through the train, through the trivia room, and into this like recreation of President Snow's like office space, for lack of a better word. And I really feel like if they had put Lucky's costume right in the entrance of Snow's area and right outside of the trivia space, it would have been so much better, just because the lighting in there is more neutral. So you could see that better. And then it would have a little bit more room to breathe. You could actually like see it a little bit better, I feel like.
I like how it like kind of, because at least our tour guide was like very nonchalant about like those costumes. He was just like, just look out for hints about the new movie or like of upcoming things or whatever. And I kind of liked that build up where like I didn't understand what was going on. And then next room I was like kind of starting to put the pieces together. And then like the next room I was like, okay, wait, I think this might be from the movie. And then the next room, when I saw Tigress's dress, I was like, oh my God, this is in the movie. Like it kind of, I liked that build up. I thought that was kind of great.
Had a completely different experience because I went through and then I saw the first costume I noticed was Tom's Academy suit, which I was like, oh my God, this is so cool. And then you walk into the main room where all the other costumes are from the original movies. And I saw Tigress's costume, but it didn't like click with me. I don't know, because like you said, those tags were hidden.
They were.
And so it didn't click with me. So I kind of just like walked past it. And then it wasn't until we got to the end where the District 13 and like her Katniss's Mockingjay suit was, where in the corner I was like, why is there just like this random dress here? I was like, oh my God, that's Dr. Gall's dress right there. So then I had to go back and like, oh, that's Tigress. Like it didn't click for me for some reason.
Didn't I come to you and I was like, oh my gosh, Holly, they have Dr. Gall. They have Dr. Gall at the end or something like that.
I blacked it out. I blacked it out. I don't know. I don't remember that.
But yeah, same. Also like took me a second I guess, to process. I mean, there was so much to process to begin with, like the whole trip. That's like that if you could sum up the entire trip as a lot to process. But I mean, there's Lucky Flickerman, and then there was Tom's Academy uniform. But at first, before I realized and put it together that it was Tom's, I thought it was like one of like
I thought the same thing. I thought that it was like one of the people that were
Like,
there
just
that
a
was, like,
random
dressed- yeah,
extra,
like a random
know?
extra's like uniform or whatever.
Right. But then there's that little tag, and again, it's kind of placed like low on the wall, and I definitely had to like circle back and take more photos and videos of it.
Mhm.
And then the tigress, and I get it, like the exhibition is laid out a certain way. They can't just like insert costumes in a very organic way, so they were kind of just like
Yeah.
plopped in the best spots they could put them. So like I'm really not putting them down or anything for it. But yeah, it's Tigress's costume is just sort of like on the like in the middle of that room, like in the floor,
Yeah.
just there.
Right in
And
front of the old tigress's outfit.
I think
Yeah.
also because they were all at ground level, all the costumes, and like in the exhibition, like the permanent ones, like all the from the original franchise, they're all kind of elevated, right?
Mhm.
And so like that's also why I don't think I saw them, because there were so many of us in the room that they're ground level. So they either just like look like another person, or like
Mhm.
other people very easily obstruct the view from them. But so like
Yeah.
once we were like in and like hanging out, then it was like very apparent that those costumes were there. I think that contributes to it.
My experience was just like totally different. I was like, we got into that first room and I was like, why are there no ballad costumes in here? When are they going to start? Where are the ballad costumes?
Oh my
I,
gosh.
I wish that they had that expectation. 'cause
We
I
got
did
into that
not.
trivia room and everybody was like standing on the A or standing in the B, and like I was in front
Yeah,
of this
I was
costume,
wondering
like,
why. I was like, Emily, we're trying to do
recording
something right
everything.
now.
I
What
was
are
like,
you
what are you
doing?
doing?
I've been to the one in New York, and like I know that they always have costumes behind like some sort of barrier, at least to some
Yeah.
just like extreme, but like just to like have these, like they were just there
Sitting there.
like they were not guarded by anything. Like I thought that they were just like inspired by it. I think was my original thought was they were just like inspired by like the Hunger Games, or like it was some like fashion student's costume idea, like at least originally, or like they like won some sort of thing or something to like have their costume displayed in this, or like what. But it's
That's
once I
such
put
an
the pieces-
elaborate thought.
I know, no, because I'm crazy. And then when I realized that like, oh wait, these were actually used in Ballad, I was like, oh my God, so good. And it was so fun to see them in like up close detail.
My one noticing from those three costumes was just how short everyone is.
Actors
Yeah.
usually are.
Well,
I'm like, Viola Davis especially. I was like, what? Like,
screen actors are very short. They have to be. And screen actors, I think statistically are like under 5'9", even the men, because it translates better on screen. Stage actors, though, they have to be like 5'9" plus, like, because like you have to be able to see them from like a distance.
yeah.
Jessica Chastain had posted something with Viola Davis, like literally like the day before we were all
Oh, I
leaving.
saw that. Yes.
And Jessica Chastain, who is the love of my life, as you all know, she's 5'2" or 5'4" or something like that.
What?
So tiny.
She's tiny. She had posted a picture or like a reel or whatever with Viola Davis and I think Meryl Streep. Jessica was next to Viola, and I was like, Viola's small, like, because I guess next to each other they were like the same height, and I know that Jessica was most likely wearing heels in that shot.
But I said that to Ronnie. I turned to Ronnie. I was like, Viola's really short.
She's
Like
5'5".
shorter than
What?
me. But then afterwards we like waited for a while as like press came in and they got to get the tour of the exhibition as well, which was like a waiting game. We're like, we're ready to see this trailer.
Yeah.
And
I looked to y'all several times and I was like, just let us in. I don't
Let us
care about the
in.
press
Yeah.
people. Like, just
We were
Yeah.
all just kind of sitting around prepping content because we had an understanding that they were going to want us to like maybe start posting content at a certain time that evening. So we
Yeah.
were all kind of just sitting around. There's some funny pictures of us
yeah.
Those
sitting,
pictures are so
being
iconic, though.
influencers.
I was like
Yeah.
looking around, and then all of a sudden I see Nicole, Holly, Kimmo, and Lily, just like all of you on your phones. And he was like, I immediately, the thought was like, like a boomer being like, everyone's on their dang phone.
I know, I thought the same thing.
The
It was
next part
finally Holly, Ronnie, and I kind of like got
moved to the
ourselves
front.
Yeah, we just like grabbed each other and then went up immediately to the front. Like there was only 3 seats in our little row, and we were in the
Yeah.
very front. and immediately grabbed onto each other,
Ended up
essentially.
being, yeah, Ronnie, Holly, and then me in the weird 3 seats in the front. AJ, I don't know where you ended up.
Okay, so like, I know where you guys were sitting, and then I guess to your right there was like kind of like cement bench thing, right?
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Mhm.
there was 2 seats, and
Mhm.
those seats were filled with Sam.
I thought Molly was back there.
I was sitting next to Molly on her right side, so I was like
Okay.
kind of
Oh.
behind that pillar, like that first pillar when you walk in.
Mhm.
I wasn't like fully behind it, but it was like diagonally kind of weird. And then I think Kaylee was like in that third row that was kind of elevated a little bit where like a bunch of press people were. Lily was there too. Yeah, I'm like mentally trying to like remember what that seating arrangement was like. But yeah, I was technically in the second row. Maybe I was behind Nicole. I think that's who it was. When we walked in, they were like, put your phones away. And I was so terrified of like getting kicked out or getting yelled at that I was like struggling with my bag, trying to like jam my phone in there.
Oh, same.
That I didn't realize that there were the chairs up yet. Like I didn't see anything.
Mhm.
Like, I was like, it was just fear, more fear.
So yeah, there was like screen, and then 3
3
director
chairs.
seats.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which the 3 of us noticed, and we were just looking at each other like,
What is
"There's
this?"
chairs, there's chairs."
And then we looked in the corner.
And
We go, someone, I don't know if it was you, Ronnie, or
it
something.
was
You're
me.
like,
It was
Those are
you're like,
me.
is that Nina? Is that Francis? Mic drop.
The little like I guess section that I was in, we also kind of noticed, I guess around the same time or something. I had to lean forward like so far out, but like I kind of just like frantically waved at Nina and she waved back at me.
Yeah, we waved
started
to her.
Yeah, we
waving
waved
at
to
them, and they
her.
waved back, and we were just
Yes.
like,
It was mom and dad.
It's mom and dad.
And the thing is, like, this is what I hoped for. Like, I mean, this was like the dream of dreams for me. A few weeks before this happened, like, we had no idea what was happening. We were like, maybe we're gonna see the trailer. Like, that'd be cool. And then I was just like, if that happens, I want Nina there and I want Francis there
Well,
because
and
I
so
want
what's
them to
super-
see us see the trailer. I think that
Well-
would be so cool.
And what's super crazy is that Nina didn't know that this was happening.
Oh yes,
She was
that's
met
right.
by one of us. I'll leave it at that. Basically just being like, hey, like a bunch of us are here. Like, are you gonna be there? And she was like, I did not know this was happening. I'm filming in New York, but I'm gonna try my best to be there or something like that. And then she came. So that's pretty amazing because I guess she wasn't like originally part of that, but she came for us. So that's super
Love
cool.
her.
Amazing.
No,
Obsessed.
And
Nina's
then
a queen.
we were shown the trailer with
Well,
Ronnie grabbing on, Emily grabbing on. We were literally jumping, screaming,
I was
crying.
holding
throwing up.
Holly's hand with this hand, and then my other hand was like wrapped around her arm. So then, like every single scene that was coming up, we were like squeezing, and then I was like yanking.
Which
Yes.
Holly, I apologize. I'm for how
No,
much
I was in the
probably,
moment
like,
with
Holly
you.
just in the middle.
It's like,
I was like, you're like a little like puppet, like just being pulled back and forth between like Emily and I.
no.
It was a lot. It was a lot for me to witness, and I'm
Yeah.
sure all of us. So good. They showed the trailer.
I feel
It was
like
so good.
that was one of the like most core memories of
That's
my
a
Yeah.
core
life,
memory.
my entire
yes.
life.
honestly. And I feel
The
like
Lionsgate logo got
Mhm.
on. There was that first
Oh,
little
gosh.
and I was like, oh, it's game over.
the first like
I'm crying.
music, and then the first shot of the academy. And it was
Yes, I was sold immediately.
If you haven't checked it out, we did a tribute talk episode that's 4 hours long where we talked in depth about the trailer.
It literally is 4 hours long.
Really quickly, say not your favorite part, but what is the part, because this is a core memory, what was the part of the trailer that stood out to you the first time you watched it?
I know I'm probably going to take a lot of y'all's answers here, but it's enjoy the show. I really truly did not think that would be in the trailer or even in the movie at all. I could just see them cutting that for some reason. And also like kind of what stood out to me is that like how book accurate it was.
Mhm.
Like it's verbatim. They don't have book trailers anymore, unfortunately. Like I don't know if you all remember like Divergent used to have like book trailers where they'd hire like 2 just like random people to like play Tristan 4 or whatever and like do a scene and some scenes from it. If they were to show that and then release the book Ballad, I would have liked it originally a lot more because like when I read Ballad, I was like, this is very good, but like it's not my favorite. This trailer made me converted me. It's so good. It's so good. And it's so accurate to the book without it being different, but also making it kind of contextualize what makes it good, if that makes sense. I was just very, very pleasantly surprised. Like so pleasantly surprised.
It just felt like sitting there watching it, we're like holding on to each other. It just like felt like it was for me. Like, you know, it just felt personal. It like felt like it was for us.
Same.
And like it is for the fans because we're the ones that are gonna go and buy the tickets and everything. But it just felt so good. It's like hard to even put into words how good it was, how cool of a moment that was. And definitely enjoyed the show because we had been talking about how much we loved that part so much. And I was fully confident. I had faith that it was going to be in the movie, but I just didn't think we were going to get to see that in the trailer. And the fact that we got that, and it just felt like we got the whole book.
Yeah, it
At least
did.
most of part 1 and part 2 just felt awesome.
Yeah, on the topic of enjoy the show, which was also like a very big thing for me. I would say that's my favorite part of the trailer, but it's not answering Holly's question, which I'll come back to. But for me, it was like enjoy the show would be such a missed opportunity if they didn't use that for marketing purposes. And so that they used it in the trailer, like just they did that. So that made me feel really good. And it sounded exactly like how I pictured it in my head or heard it in my head and how I wanted it. So that was awesome. But I guess, Holly, to answer your question about like what was the thing that struck me, when Lucy Gray is bowing on stage and she's crying, almost like a shot for shot of the Katniss's bow and catching fire. And that's when I was like, we're getting a Hunger Games movie. Like it was like just one of those like fleeting thoughts, you know, that's like hath formed, you know, but it's just so like vivid. And yeah, it was like, well, this is a Hunger Games movie. Like it's a real thing now. It's not just something we've been talking about or like a book we've read. It's like a real, not that the book isn't real, but you know, the visuals and the soundtrack and all of that. Yeah, I would say that's what stood out to me on the first viewing was the bowing. Because initially I was like, I couldn't place it in which movie it was, but I was like, I know I've seen this in a Hunger Games movie. Like I know I've seen Katniss do that same thing. I put it all together like on the second view, I think, but like that was wild. And then I couldn't see the rest through my tears.
I think for me, the part that like shook me, that stood out to me when I think back to that memory, was hearing Donald's voice in the trailer. Because there was like, we were expecting the hanging tree or something, but like when we heard that line, I was like, whoa, like I was not expecting that.
Until I was home. I like did not register that at all.
I got chills because that's the same dialogue I used in my fan edit trailer. So when that came out, I was just like,
no, I guess it was, which also that fan edit trailer, iconic. I think y'all did a very good job with the fan edit.
That was Emily. That was all Emily.
Oh, Emily, 10 out of 10.
So we saw the trailer and then there was a Q&A. It was only like 4 questions. And once we got to the 4th question, I was like, I feel confident. I'm going to raise my hand. And they're like, no more questions.
I was getting my question ready. I wanted to ask about like the cast diversity, but like,
we just watched the trailer
like we were
for Ballad twice. Yes. Like I've said before, I could not even process like the fact that like we watched the trailer twice and then just immediately went to Q&A because like by the time the Q&A happened, I was like, I'm still processing watching the trailer. Like I could not think of any questions.
But shout out to Tiffany.
Yeah, Tiffany did
PhD prequel.
Such a good job.
She got to ask a question, which is like good for her.
And it was a great question as well.
Then afterwards, they said no more Q&A, and then they said Hunger Games influencers stay here for a surprise. And we all got to get together and get a group photo, which I'm still waiting for that photo.
It's making me itchy how impatient I am about it. Like,
yes.
Or just any photo or video of the whole
interaction.
I want the video reactions. I want the video reactions. Of
I don't think because making video. I hope they were.
They were. No, they were. I have at least
confirmation.
Somebody, yes, I have confirmation.
I need that.
And
I don't know.
They were recording us specifically. They were recording us.
It was so cool, Ronnie, because like when we went to go take the picture, I turned around and Nina was like, I loved seeing your reaction. And I was like, Ronnie.
Because I was acting absolutely unhinged.
Yes. You
I
had
was for
to.
me, for myself. That was like the most emotive I think I've ever been in my life. I probably will watch it back and be like, I didn't even react that much, but like for me, it was a lot.
I just was feeling a lot of emotions when I was watching it.
Mhm.
Like, I mean, it was, and I'm very expressive. So like when I'm watching something, especially when it's Hunger Games related, I'm for the first time, I'm just like the whole time.
Yeah.
So I was just
I had
going
my
through
hand
it.
in my face the whole time. Like I think initially I was just like this for like
My jaw was dropped. I was like,
I was
No,
like that, but I was like,
I was
it's
just
so good. It's such a good trailer. I mean,
my
listen to
hands
the tribute
migrated
talk,
from
but
being like over here, and it was like, and then I was like I just constantly was just like,
the second time we watched it, I was just like
yeah.
that the whole time because I like wanted to be still and like study everything that like I missed. But
oh,
Mhm.
same. I'm glad that they showed it for the second time for us. Like that was very nice of them.
yes,
Yeah.
I was like, they better.
Well,
Yeah.
Can't just see it
because I
once.
didn't actually know when the trailer was going to be releasing to the public yet at that point.
Yeah.
Like,
Mhm.
because we were like, this could be happening tomorrow when they do their panel. This could be happening next week. It could be happening next month. Like, they didn't tell us when it was going
Could
to
be
happen.
happening
So,
right now.
right. Like, so I was glad that they gave us a second viewing because, yeah, I was like, just in case, like, we don't see this for another week or whatever. Like, I need to like soak this in as much as possible. And thankfully, we didn't have to wait that long.
Yeah.
Thankfully.
We didn't know that yet. So
Took the photo and then we kind of held them hostage.
Honestly, I was about to
We
say,
did.
they
I
didn't
don't
let
think they
us.
were
They
supposed
we
to
just kind of
stay.
swarmed on them.
Yeah. So we talked to Nina and Francis. AJ got to show them their tattoo, their Katniss tattoo. And
And
it was
Francis noticed AJ's corn tattoo.
I know I
Mhm.
was already like, because I just sort of barged in at a moment and I was like, I'm sorry, I'm gonna kick myself if I don't like say
No,
this.
you had
It's
to
your
though.
moment.
No,
And I was
that
like, I
was
just
that
need
was
to tell you that-
great. That was a great
and
interaction.
Nina got like really up close because she wanted to like really study it, which was super cool. And by the way, I did get to tell my friend who did the tattoo that they saw it, so that was also really cool.
Yay!
Really?
Yeah. And yeah, so as I'm like awkwardly holding my arm out with like my blazer like half on and half off, Francis looks down and he's like, is that Jonathan Davis from Korn? And I transcended. I literally like I forgot that happened until like way later when we were back at the hotel eating dinner, and Molly was the one who brought it up, and I was like, thank you for reminding me because I totally forgot about that. And then Lexi was like, dude, you just started shaking. I was like, yeah, that sounds about right. So I remember that moment and I don't at the same time. It's very weird, but as these things go, you know.
It was
They were
really
very
cool.
personable.
I think the coolest part was Francis mentioning that there's going to be a bunch of nods to the original movies.
Yes.
So, I mean, like, we talked about it on Tribute Talk again. So the curtsy was a nod. If you hate the curtsy, I hate you.
Same.
It was not scripted. Rachel did
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, ad-libbed.
Love her. So the coolest part for me of this whole experience was the fact that they let the fans break the news about the trailer.
Yeah.
So that was when the Hunger Games posted that phone number that you could text, and they sent out that first GIF. Well, each of us got sent a GIF, and we were the ones that got to post it of the trailer. And so for me, like coming home and telling people that I work with and my parents and just other people, like my friends, like we were the ones that got to break the news. Like big sources had to come to us to find these things. So like I thought that was the coolest part of the whole experience, because they were letting the fans be the ones saying like the trailer's coming out tomorrow, which was so
that went over
cool.
my head. I feel like I did the post totally wrong. I must have been
Same.
like too overwhelmed or whatever. I didn't know
No,
we were
Emily,
allowed to
same.
say that the trailer was coming tomorrow. I just said like, check out the sneak peek from the trailer. That's all I did. I didn't say that there were like 17 and like you have to find them and the trailer comes out tomorrow.
I didn't know like how many there were in total, because I also didn't realize like when I got my GIF, I didn't realize that we were all getting a different one. Like that didn't.
Yeah.
It was
Molly,
very confusing, to be honest.
It was.
it was a lot. It was a lot of information to keep track of, I guess.
Yeah.
But like, so
Yeah.
I wasn't sure how many there were, and I didn't feel like counting all of us. And plus, I didn't know like, are there other people like online that are going to have access to this? Like, are we just the only ones? Like, I didn't know. So I just wrote like kind of vaguely. I was like, I've seen the trailer. Here's a clip. There are several others out there.
That was
We all
my
look like,
caption.
Bye.
That was
Yeah.
exactly my caption, essentially.
And that
But-
reel out on my account has 109K views, which is bananas to me. But
Yeah, I think ours
Yeah.
has like 100,000.
Yeah, same with ours.
and I forgot to tag everyone because we were all like tagging all of our accounts.
I didn't know we were doing that.
Yeah, I
I
didn't
didn't
tag
either.
anyone. But I think
No.
like it reminded
I
me of old times, like the fact that they would reach out to fan accounts and let them be the ones to like share the news, which is
Yeah.
really, really
Yeah,
cool.
this is so cool.
It's very cool.
I thought it was fun, like all the different gifts, because like people were getting excited and like analyzing
Yeah.
them. But it's very strange not being at home
On the
like,
other side,
It
seeing
was
what was happening, because
honestly.
I don't really have as much of an understanding of what the like feeling was from everybody, and
Yeah.
what that was like. But
I was never a part of any of like the fan pages or anything back in the day. So
Same.
it was really exciting to be on this side. And sort of like, I don't know, it almost felt like making up for lost time in a sense. Like, oh, I get to
Yeah.
do all this stuff now. Back then it was just not happening. Also, it's worth noting that like back then I was still in like high school and like there wasn't anything that I was going to be doing back then. But
Same. I was
Yeah.
in middle school, so
I feel
Oh
like
my god.
for me, it was kind of like, oh my gosh, here we go again.
No, same, Emily. Same.
Here we go. Here's the
It's
stress.
so
here's
cool.
the posting.
and-
Like it's all starting
Emily,
again.
you and I are in very similar age demographics.
that's what's cool is like there's some of us in the group that had done this sort of thing before. Some of us had done it a little bit. Some of us didn't do it ever. So it was kind of like
It was very neat.
an experience for everyone, even though we were all in the same group doing the same thing. So
But
I think that's pretty special too.
Yeah, it was the same experience though too. Like, I mean, it was also like it was so nice to have like new people come on board, but at the same time to like experience a trailer release, which have like been involved with before or whatever, but it's been a lot more just like, oh, here's the trailer, post it, whatever, blah blah blah. It was so nice to like be a part of it, like in a group of fans. Because I mean, when they were doing this originally, it wasn't like a meet in person sort of thing.
after the trailer, we walked out in the hallway to leave the exhibition, and in a glass case, none of the other costumes were in a glass case, but they knew we would go feral over this thing.
Exactly. We would have
This
touched it. We
Lucy
would have
Gray's
touched
dress.
that dress.
And
if
I
it
was telling
not-
everyone, I'm like, you better enjoy that now because that's going to be mine in a few years. So
Out through the gift shop, they handed us a Songbirds and Snakes poster, which is also available for pre-order. Plug. And they gave us each one of the white roses, and then like I was like, I'm in the exhibition gift shop, I'm gonna buy stuff. I was like, are you guys open?
Same.
Buying stuff.
Yeah, I bought stuff
Picked up a
too.
I
hoodie,
thought so.
picked up 2 pins. I got another District 4
They
pin.
made
'cause
money off us.
I
yeah,
know.
they knew they would. They knew
Yeah,
they
they
would.
did. They did. They were like, these are some freaking fans.
I was like, I don't care. Like, I'm here, I'm gonna get stuff. And they were kind of like rushing us to go and to pay for stuff because then we had to get back on the shuttles,
Yeah.
back home, and then definitely not sleep because we were all too high, essentially.
Oh
Mhm.
yeah.
High
So
off the Hunger Games.
that was our amazing few days. I'm so glad that I got to experience it with you all and the people who are also there. Shout out to everyone. We'll link them below. So check out the accounts if you haven't. And yeah, we're hoping for another event maybe in the future if we're lucky enough. I don't know.
Let's
Maybe.
Or
hope.
maybe just helping with promo
Anything.
stuff.
Like
so,
Lionsgate,
like,
if you need help with anything, let us
whatever.
know.
Let
it
us
was so
know.
cool.
Literally leaving my calendar open because I'll do anything for you, Lionsgate.
Anything for the Hunger
Same.
Games.
I
Same.
got on a plane for Lionsgate, so let's just remember
You
that.
did. You did
Exactly.
that.
And you
Queen.
did job, Holly.
So that is our recap of our experience. Again, thank you, Lionsgate. We're so, so grateful for everything. And yeah, visit us for Tribute Talk this week. We're going to be reading Ballad. You'll hear all of our beautiful voices there. And also stay tuned for a vlog that we will be posting soon. So thank you, Ronnie and AJ, for joining us.
Yeah.
No worries at all. This is a fabulous
Bye.
time. Bye.
See ya.
Bye. Long
Twins!
time no
Triplets!
Triplets.
Emily
won.
better be wearing this. If Emily is joining and not wearing this.
We will cry and we will
Emily, yes!
Yes!